BOSCO Uganda is a faith-based organization registered under the trusteeship of Gulu Archdiocese, and it is governed by a board of directors that is appointed by the trusteeship of Gulu Archdiocese. And the role of the board is to work very closely with the management. The board appoints the management of BOSCO Uganda, and the board's role mainly is to make up policies and give directions, and the management implements the policy. So both the board and the management work very closely together in ensuring that there is good governance, there are structures, there are policies, there are systems in place that enable us to be credible, that enables us to ensure value for money, that enables the organization to reach and meet the mission of the organization. Now the board does meet on a quarterly basis, and the board meets with the management, where the management gives accountability on what they are doing on a quarterly basis. The board approves budgets that are presented by the management. And so the board also participates very closely in the monitoring of the projects on the ground. So the executive director and the board do spot visits, and they can visit the interventions in the field and give feedback to the staff on how they are seeing the interventions, how they are seeing the projects, and the impacts of the projects on the ground. So this is briefly about how the management and the governance body function.
As BOSCO Uganda, to find a partner that we work with, normally we carry out what we call an assessment. We have developed an assessment tool through which we assess the groups that we partner with. But more so, we also get recommendations from the local leadership in the area where we would like to expand our services. And some of these local leaders are the local government leaders. We also have religious leaders. We have sometimes head of schools. And these are the people who recommend to us the right group that we work with. Secondly, we do orientation and then signing of the MOUs. So this creates the ownership of the community center. And then as BOSCO, once we do the capacity development for the community groups, the kind of community capacity development we give is that we train, especially with special focus to the leadership and leadership of the groups. We train them what we call leadership and management. And then in this leadership, we look at things like gender, we look at things like human rights, leadership itself, governance, planning, budgeting, and bookkeeping, so that we prepare the leadership to handle the daily affairs of the center. This leadership is elected democratically by the communities. They do monthly reporting to BOSCO Uganda. They also ensure gender balance at all the activities of the center. More so, they also do advocacy. And in this, they design advocacy strategies. They come up with media messages that handles or tackles the vices in their community. And then they share it. And in this, they bring the leaders where they post to them the challenges that the groups or the community is facing in general. And then together with the leadership, they come up with solutions. And these solutions are implemented and followed up by the leadership of the communities. In addition to that, they also do equipment replacement. As BOSCO Uganda, our capacity is limited, and we can only support the community up to a particular level. And then they have to carry on the management and then replacement of the spare parts in case it breaks down, because BOSCO gets this funding from our donors, and then the resources ends there. We have supported the groups to a level that they can sustain themselves. When we are starting the center at building their capacity, we support them with startup grants, and this comes in terms of money. So normally in the assessment, they identify viable income generating activities based on their locality. So once they identify this, the groups start their viable income generating activities, and these income generating activities could be produce, buying, and selling as the most needed services or products that are required in those communities. And some of the things they do is what we call Village Savings and Loan Association. So they start this, and then they put a particular percentage that should cater for the sustainability and replacement of spare parts. So this is how they manage their center.